wild food security, the wildly preserved. And so let's just take a little bit of a tour into my pantry, my refrigerator, my freezer, and you can see what I will be able to teach you to do. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Bring this up.
There you go.
Okay, can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
All
yes.
right. Okay, so here we go. Since following nature's offering is highly seasonal, I will teach you how to put up and stock up what you gather fresh in every season for year-round use. This is my wild pantry. It's filled with dried flowers and leaves for teas, dried roots and seeds and shoots and bark and flowers, wild flowers, and stalk. And it's a rich storage of nature's free bounty ready to be used. So this is just a short little video of it. But this has been so much fun learning how to do these things. I even make my own medicines. The wild seasonings are amazing. The wild seeds and the wild sauces and syrups and honeys and jams and jellies. I just have a lot, but it's such an empowering thing to learn. Fruit leathers, drying fruits that I get from apple trees that are just foraged for. And then wild drinks is one of my favorite things to do, starting with wild teas. You go out in nature, and here are some sumac bobs or spires, and they have to be infused in cold water. And then you make it into like a lemonade, or I call it sumacade, high in vitamin C. Here's Monarda or bee balm out in the field. You collect it. It smells amazing. It's like really sweet oregano, and it makes a delicious tea. So then you dry it like this in bundles upside down, and then I put them in these bags for the winter time when I can de-stem them. This is de-stemming. I call that herbing around. I just bring over some friends and we all just sit there and talk and de-stem and then make them into teas when I want to have teas. Goldenrod used to be called Liberty tea. The colonists used it after they threw the English tea in the Boston Harbor. It's higher in antioxidants by 7 times than green tea, and making it into a punch is the best way to fight seasonal allergies. Let's see what's next. Okay, autumn olive berry. This is an invasive, and oh, it's so delightful. And it has, it's kind of a taste between cranberry and raspberry, and they're very, very, very invasive. And you can collect 5 gallons of them in just minutes. And here I am making it into water kefir. So that's good for your gut health. 17 times higher in lycopene than tomatoes, autumn olive berries. And water kefir is so good for your gut. Dandelions, so the flowers can be used to infuse in water to make wine or soda. And using their stems are great straws. They're biodegradable because they're hollow. And so the roots make a delicious coffee. And so you can roast it like a coffee, and it's very, very good for your liver. And I love it iced or hot. So just unusual flavors and colors, and you know, just beautiful and always so stunning and so different. So then the next thing is my wild refrigerator. So in my wild refrigerator, I will keep what's fresh on nature's wave right now. So like when ramps come up, I'll keep them in my fridge for a while until I can make them into herbal butters to keep for the winter, or you can freeze them. I also like to keep herbal butters, like I just said, in my wild freezer. This is when you want to keep your berries and you want to blanch things, freeze them. First you boil them for 3 minutes and then freeze them on a flat tray, and then you can keep them in the freezer for a long period of time. Here's an example of that with milkweed. The flower buds taste like broccoli, and so here they are blanched and frozen and then made into a milkweed au gratin for a meal. Popsicles, I keep lots of weird popsicles in my freezer, and also I love to keep flowers from spring and summer in ice cubes. then we'll talk about wildly fermented and pickled, and here's some fermented acorn sourdough bread. Kimchis, krauts, salsas, all with wild plants. And here's an example of making milkweed shoot pickles. So like I said, you need to collect those in the early spring when they're really nice and flexible and juicy. And then here's some of my apprentices. And we are collecting them, taking the leaves off, and then cutting them in pieces so that they're nice and tender before we make them into our favorite pickle recipe. I think I froze. Oh, here they are all chopped up. So you don't want to use that hard part like an asparagus. And here I am making a bunch of meads and wines, fermenting, and here's an elderflower cordial. Okay, and then the last is the wild apothecary. So like letting food be your medicine and medicine be your food is kind of the best way to be medicine, but here's mullein magic. The wild vinegars are really good for you. Nettle infusion, different infusions with the teas are good for you. Wild green smoothies are really amazing for your body, and especially with spring greens. And then here's all my tinctures under the stairs of my apothecary. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of the abundance that's free for the knowing and the picking.